Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, broadcast live on USA Network, which emanated from the Norfolk Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. In the main event, Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez to retain the Women's World Championship, pinning her in 15 minutes and 15 seconds after delivering the Riptide. It was Ripley's fifth televised defense and 26th overall. Prior to the finish, Nia Jax appeared at ringside and attacked Rodriguez, which led to Ripley's pin. After the bout, Jax also attacked the champion.
Nia Jax isn't done yet! First she went after Rodriguez, and now a headbutt to the champion Ripley! And Jax is laughing about it.
Jax is wrecking everything in sight.
The former women's champion, Nia Jax, with a massive leg drop to Rhea Ripley. And now Nia to the second row. Ripley goes splat.
This is Jax's first appearance for the company since competing in this past January's Royal Rumble. Prior to the Rumble, Jax had been inactive since being released by the company in November of 2021. The first bout of the program saw the undisputed World Tag Team Champions Finn Balor and Damian Priest defeat Kevin Owens and Jey Uso in a non-title match. An Aaron superkick landed by Uso on Owens led to the finish, which was Balor pinning Owens after delivering the coup de grace double foot stomp.
Hey, yo. Hey, man.
Are you kidding me?
My bad out there.
You're bad.
Miscue, man. I apologize. It was an accident.
No, I don't need to. I've heard. I know everything I have to know already.
No, you
okay?
don't, man.
Yeah, I do. No, I do. You know what? Why don't you go find your new bloodline, huh? They're in Judgment Day's locker room. Why don't you dye your hair purple while you're at it, huh? Oos.
Chad Gable interrupted an in-ring promo by Intercontinental Champion Gunther, which led to a six-man tag team match that saw Gable, Otis, and Tommaso Ciampa beat Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci when Gable tapped out Vinci with an ankle lock. In other results, Drew McIntyre defeated Xavier Woods, The Miz defeated Akira Tozawa, and Shayna Baszler defeated Chelsea Green. Also on the show, NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton and her next challenger Becky Lynch signed their contract to meet tonight on NXT. Cody Rhodes laid out both Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough during an interview segment, and World Champion Seth Rollins called out Shinsuke Nakamura for a match, but Nakamura refused and instead attacked Ricochet backstage. In ratings news, SmackDown on Fox drew a total audience of 2.094 million viewers last week, according to WrestleNomics, which was down 15.4% from the previous week's 2.443 million. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was 0.53, down from the previous week's 0.65 key demo rating. SmackDown drew an average audience of 692,000 viewers in the demo, down 56,000 viewers on average from last week. AEW Rampage drew a total audience of 385,000 to TNT last Friday night, according to WrestleNomics. That's up 3.5% from the previous week's audience of 372,000. In the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic, the episode drew a .13 rating, equating to 170,000 viewers, and up from the previous week's .11 key demo rating. And in health-related news, Hacksaw Jim Duggan has been released from the hospital, according to a social media post shared by Duggan yesterday. Wrote Duggan on Instagram, quote, "Big thanks to the doctors, nurses, and staff at the Glens Falls Hospital. You made a rough few days much easier. Also, thanks to all of you who had a thought and a prayer for me as we went through this difficult time. Love you," end quote. Duggan had emergency surgery last weekend after being rushed from a public appearance in his hometown of Glens Falls, New York. The nature of the procedure or the emergency is not known. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News Podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.